doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L podcast.
Rocking and rolling. PVO Dre is in the building. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm good. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Kid L podcast. We in the building.
For real, man. I appreciate that. It's cool today. We're going to be talking some business, getting business insight, you know. You have a history of helping people with their finances and understanding how to get things coordinated on that structure, which is important because usually we just talk about rap on here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to get some diversity with the topics. Talk about your background, man. First of all, where are you from?
I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I was born and raised on the east side of Detroit, right off Mack and Canton. Me, my mom, and my younger brother at the time, and my grandma, rest in peace to her, Eloise Daniels. Went to Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences right there on Jefferson. But then my mom, she moved us downriver. So a lot of my ties, a lot of my brothers, like real connected family is downriver. So like the Southgate, E-Course area type stuff like that, like those is my closest, you know what I'm saying, friends where they from. So I graduated high school out there, but I always kept my ties to the city. I stayed on the west side for a hot second too. So I'm well-rounded for real. Stayed in Vegas for a minute, and I stayed in Sanford, Florida, which is like 15 minutes away from Orlando. So I really consider myself a well-rounded individual, but you can't forget where your ties is at. So I went back to the east side now, so that's where I lay at currently now. You feel me?
So you flew out to Vegas. You spent time in Orlando,
Yep.
close to Orlando, and then you came back to Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why did you leave Detroit in the first place?
My pops, you know what I'm saying? So I was staying with my mom when I was younger, but you know, you get to that age, pops want you to go with him. Certain things, men just got to teach their son. So I went with him. And I appreciate it, too, because a lot of the experiences that I have is because I went to go travel. If I would have never went and stayed with him, even though we only stayed in Vegas for like a couple of months because he ended up getting a better opportunity. He shoot for the news right now. He a photographer for the news, but he ended up getting a better opportunity in Florida. So we stayed in Vegas for like that summer months. And right before school hit, he had got an offer, so we dipped. You know what I'm saying? But at that young age, I seen how quick life could change. You feel me? So you had to adapt. You know what I mean? Meeting new people, finding your groove. So it's cool because it translates to now, too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Talk about going through school, and did you always know that you were going to be into entrepreneurship and business growing up?
I ain't going to lie to you. Like, I just always knew that I wanted to work for myself. Because I always seen what people that ran their own businesses, people that was their own boss, the freedom that they was able to have. Everybody be talking about the glory, the riches, and all that stuff, but it's really freedom for real because I got kids, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing with me. I wanted to be, besides having lots of money, I wanted to be able to have the freedom, go to my kids' basketball games, my daughter's cheerleading, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that would come up, I just always wanted to be there. I like waking up every day and making my own schedule as opposed to having to punch a clock and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I had a job for 10 years, you know what I'm saying, at the Big Three, which is a great job, you feel me? But I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always.
When did you break into entrepreneurship? What was your first venture?
I ain't gonna lie, I had started a clothing line back in 2015. It's called PVO Merch. That was at the time when I was working at the plant, so it had popped off. It was good, you know what I'm saying? Your first customers obviously be the people that you see all the time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm getting traction, I'm getting orders, I'm feeling good about myself. It's, you know, I'm promoting it to people outside the plant, so it was cool. But that's one of the main reasons why I had to dip into business credit, because I was getting all the orders, but I couldn't keep up with the orders because I was using my checks from my job to fund the business, which is what a lot of people do in entrepreneurship. You got a business idea. Your first investor, most of the time, is your 9-to-5. We all know how hard the economy is. It ain't a lot of money out here. You know what I'm saying? You got to have money for your bills, your family, and you got to try to make it happen to put it into your business. So for me, it just wasn't adding up. So I couldn't keep it going. So I ended up having to let that go. I had a store at my job too. I sold, you know what I'm saying, snacks, chips, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I just always had that spirit. I used to do ATMs. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of ATM machines. That was good, which is still a good business plan. It just takes location. Like where my spot was at, the spot got broken into a million times. People trashed the ATM. So I done definitely took a couple of losses with this entrepreneur shit, but
you kept trying at the end of the day.
You
regardless.
got to, bro. You got to.
What was after the clothing line, the next entrepreneurial move that you made that you found more success in?
The ATM business, for sure. The ATM business, because it was easy. Like, my main thing was I wanted to try to find something that I was hands off with. Because at the job I was working at, obviously you got to work long hours, just hands on. So I needed to find a way to make some money that I didn't have to be there. So with ATM machines, you find you a location, you place it there. If it's got good traffic, you put your own money in there, and it's just a cycle. It repeats, it repeats, it repeats. All you got to do is just refill it at the end of whenever the money runs out. So it was easy. That term, making money in your sleep, that's literally what it is. Because I could be asleep, but if somebody using the machine, I'm making money. So
how much do you make off an ATM in like a month?
Depending on your location, honestly. Like, prime example, if you had an ATM and a banging barbershop, right? Like somewhere that's getting like 50 to 60 clients a day. I'm just throwing a number out there. You got about, what, $3,000 in there per day, and you charging $3.50 for the surcharge, which is the fee you would pay when you withdraw money. You're going to make about a good $300-$400. You know what I'm saying?
Per month?
Single time. No, more than that.
Oh.
No, per month. It depends on your location, like I said, depending on your location. But for an average spot, you can make about $300-$400. You know what I'm saying? But let's just say you got one in a strip club.
Yeah.
And they charging $20, $15, which they do. You know what I'm saying?
They do,
now you're talking about a couple thousand maybe.
Shit,
so
those ATM machines in the clubs are crazy, bro.
But they get used though. Man. You know what I'm saying?
20% shit.
How many people you know really be going to the bank and getting singles before they go to the strip club? They ain't thinking that.
Not thinking about that.
They gonna bring their own money, which is what a lot of people do. And once they out of the money,
man,
they gonna go to the machine.
Man, that machine's crazy. It made me second guess my life at some points. I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm going back to this machine. So after the ATMs and you go through a lot of issues with that, what's the next big move for entrepreneurship for you?
Really, in reality, I was just trying to find my way at that point because that was like more of a bigger L that I had to take. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to try to get mentored. So I wanted to invest in my education, which I did, but I ain't gonna lie, even with that, I took some losses. A lot of these people that be saying they're mentors and coaches and stuff like that, they'll, you know what I'm saying, advertise it on social media and stuff. And when you really get connected with some of these people, unfortunately, it don't always work out. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Okay, prime example, I had went to this mixer with a couple of my friends. It was in Vegas a couple of years ago. It was called the M3 Accelerator. So it was a couple of these big name entrepreneurs that was doing their thing in their different spaces, real estate, cryptocurrency, all type of different stuff, right? Like I said, I'm just trying to get in the room to find out what I need to learn. So I ended up taking a risk and investing with this guy. His name was Josh Madrid at the time. Well, his name Josh Madrid now, but at the time he was supposed to be like this big guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing it. He was killing it in e-com, drop shipping, all of that stuff, right? So he had a program where it was like he was going to take a certain amount of people and show you how to make, you know what I'm saying, take your drop shipping to the next level. You can make like 100K, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to show you everything, right? You obviously had to pay a fee for it, right? So he flashing it. You seeing it on social media. Somebody like myself, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get on this. You know what I'm saying? I done did my research. I've been looking at other people's stuff that's supposed to be connected to them, and it looks straight until you actually get there. Dude was a fucking fraud.
What did he say when you were there?
It's not even about that. It wasn't about that event. It was about when I actually got into the mentorship because I went on a trip. He had a little house that he rented out in Sunny Beach, California. And he had him and a couple of other people there. They all was in the same group. You know what I'm saying? This was years ago, so I don't remember their names. But the point is, everything that was promised that was supposed to happen never happened. You were supposed to get like these coaching calls every week. They're supposed to be like hands-on with you. Because again, think about it. If somebody tell you, hey, I'm going to train you how to do a podcast, hold your hand the whole way. Yeah. But they not showing you shit. You feel me? But you invested $5-10 grand in. That's gonna fuck your head up.
And you're knocking at their door, right? Like
calling. We in the little at the time group chat. You know what I'm saying? Social media. I'm talking about this shit got so bad. Like people that was in the group were writing on his page, like basically long reviews of how they had got scammed. I never really did it because I just kind of chalked it up like it is what it is. But I say all that to say with this entrepreneurship, that's what I mean, where you got to have a head for this because you're going to take so many losses before you win. That ain't even my only loss. That was my first loss. Damn. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it took me 2 or 3 times before I actually broke through and found the right group of people with the right mindset for me to even make an impact to see some money. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just never gave up, though. I ain't gonna lie. I never gave up.
So that's obviously a big setback, right? You're trying to look for somebody to mentor you, and then they're kind of not even paying attention to you, and you're spending money on it. So it's like all falling apart at that end. How did you maintain at that point, and then where did you continue on from there?
I mean, thank God I still was working at the time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still doing my 9 to 5. I don't give a damn if you got a job or not. $10,000 to lose is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. $10,000 is $10,000. So I was pissed the fuck off, but it took me a little minute to do it. But like I said, thank God I had a good job, so I was able to, hustle my way back. And then I was still doing little small stuff on the side. Like I said, I had a store at the job, shit like that. But like I said, that ain't even the first time it went bad. Because when I had stepped into the whole business credit mindset and trying to get, you know what I'm saying, an understanding of that, besides me reading my own books, YouTube research, and then using my own personal experiences, because I feel like in anything, you need to try to gravitate to somebody that's doing it at a high level. I really, truly believe if you really trying to get to the next level, you got to attach yourself to somebody that's doing it at a high level. I just feel like that with any field. Got again.
Yeah, son.
20,000.
Whew.
20,000.
From what?
So it's a system that you learn for analyzing people's credit profiles and then obviously getting them business funding. And then there's a software that's out right now. It's called Go High Level. A lot of entrepreneurs use it because it's like an automated system. So it sends your messages for you, your email campaigns. It's really a good software for real. This guy was supposed to show me and everybody else in the group, how to do it and stuff like that. Before I had locked in, it was before my 30th birthday. I'm talking about I could get him on the phone every day. Hey, what's going on? I see you doing this. So we going good. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the social proof, stuff like that. I get locked in with the program. The calls just started dropping. Can't get in touch no more. Motherfuckers stop posting as much. You know what I'm saying? Usually you'll get a quick ass response before you paid that money. But now you ain't getting no response. Assistants hitting you up now. People you ain't never even heard of or even seen around this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say his name because I ain't gonna bash him because I feel like my blessings came to me tenfold. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the situation. But basically, finally got in touch with the guy. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm focusing on my $50,000 clients now."
Oh my God.
And I'm in my head like, bro, I'm from Detroit, bro. I'm ready to fuck you up over my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is serious to me because, like, the last loss I took, you know what I'm saying? I was a little younger. Like I said, I just turned 30. I got 2 kids to feed. This is money out of not only my hands, but my family hands.
Did you really tell him that?
Huh?
Did you really tell him that?
Yeah, for sure.
What'd he say?
For sure. He never responded. He never responded.
Do you feel like when you sign up for the program, like the mentor is actually trying to help, and then they get overwhelmed with clientele, and they just can't, put themselves out there as much because they have so many clients to handle?
What I feel like if it's too much for you to handle, then you shouldn't promote it.
But do you feel like that's what's possibly happening? Do they actually have the knowledge that they're saying they have, but then they spread it themselves too thin?
Some do. I think some do. But at the same time, that's what I mean by your systems and your software should be where it needs to be. Because I got a mentor now. You know what I'm saying? A great mentor. I think he's one of the best in the game. You know what I'm saying? When I need him, when the people in his community need him, he's there. He's attentive. It's systems set in place. Like if people need questions, people need guidance, you can always get an answer. The community is responsive. Let's just say I might need something from you. You might not be available, but your assistant is, or somebody that you have trained before. They're all in the community. It's just certain things that are set up in the community that is positive. Right. He didn't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So I think it's steps that you can take to be proactive when your numbers do go up. Because again, it's social media, right? You're posting out content. People are going to be interested. They're going to follow you. They want to know what's going on. They're going to be interested. You not saying, oh, well, I'm posting this content right now, but I'm only taking 400 people or I'm only taking 100 people. You saying, come on, I'm going to change your life. Right. This is this. So you should have stuff in place to support that.
Right. He had way too many clients. He possibly had too much clientele. For the demand was too high for what he could return, right? So after you get that endeavor happens, what's the next move for you?
I kept going. I took a couple months break, You know what I'm saying? I still was working my job at the time. Again, thank God. But I took a minute from that because, again, that was a much bigger loss.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then at that point in time, and I feel like every entrepreneur might not have took the same loss I took, but you always get to a point where it's like, damn, I might not even be made to do this. You feel me? Every time I try to do this, some bullshit happens. But you got to be resilient. You know what I'm saying? So
it's ridiculous, man.
I'll never forget it. I was talking to my cousin, and I just had a conversation with him. He had just asked me about it. He like, man, you ain't messing with the business funding no more. You just ain't doing nothing. Like, and I just thought about it. I'm like, man, I ain't fucking with that shit right now. He like, bro, but you already know it. You gotta keep, just having that positive reinforcement. So, I prayed about it. That was my main thing. I prayed about it like hard for a minute. And what I ended up doing is the guy that fucked me over, before he had fucked me over, he had actually got me in touch with somebody else that did the same thing. And I had to think about it because all that bullshit was going on. I had just forgot. I actually had his contact information. So I prayed about it, and I'm like, you know what, let me just hit dog up. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it. If he don't fuck with me, he don't fuck with me. I'm in the same spot I'm in right now. Ended up hitting him up. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, where I know you from. So I kind of explained it, but I didn't want to go too in depth. He was like, bro, that don't got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you all this shit. Didn't even charge me. And the thing about this entrepreneur shit is we supposed to serve people. We supposed to help people. You know what I'm saying? If you offering a product and service, you want to help people because what does that do? That spreads awareness and it gives social proof. He like, I could charge you, but I'm not going to charge you because I like what your mindset is. I know what your spirit is. I know we're going to make money down the future, which we have. Made a lot of money. You feel me? But it just took him being a genuine person and giving me that opportunity. And now I don't even think back on that loss I took because, again, I done made that back times 3 now.
So was that the latest experience as far as figuring everything out?
For sure.
Nothing. So after losing the $20,000, it went to that. After you took your break, you come back and everything works out.
I came back.
Can you talk about the person that you're working with, or is it kind of like?
Keep it
behind the scenes.
He behind the scenes. He don't want his name to be on there, but
for sure.
What I will say is he, you know what I'm saying, he based out in Houston. Real genuine dude. You know what I'm saying?
Can you talk about the business that you guys got involved in?
Yep. So we run a funding company. My particular name is PVO Funding because I have my own, you know what I'm saying, branch in the state of Michigan. He has his own branch, obviously, in the state of Houston, and we bounce off of each other with our resources. But PVO Funding basically it's a funding company that helps entrepreneurs that are either starting up or they already are in business and they just need a little pick me up. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say you got that business, expenses getting high, you need more inventory. You trying to up your brand, you need to up your content. You got to get more equipment. That's where we come in at. Instead of you, like I told you a couple minutes ago, your average entrepreneur is using their 9 to 5 to fund their business. So even if you making ends meet, you probably only moving at a little margin, as opposed to we give you access to $50 all the way to $150,000.
Okay.
So now you really in a position to make real moves. You know what I'm saying? And I like it because it's revolving. So you got business owners that'll be like, oh, okay, I got a business plan. They made their business plan. I'm going to go get me a loan. I don't got nothing against loans, but I always recommend against it because why go get a loan where you're going to have to pay interest off the rip? And after you pay that interest, the money's gone. If you need another influx of cash, let's just say something does happen, which shit happens in entrepreneur, you're going to have to apply for another loan. But when you got revolving credit, you always got access to it.
So the difference between the loan and the funding, for somebody who's really trying to make the difference, what's the simplest way of explaining what the difference is between getting a fund from you or a loan from the bank?
You're never going to have access to that money once you pay that loan back. When you get funding from us, you'll always have access to the money as long as you do right by it because it's revolving credit. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So if I go get me a credit card with $50,000 on it, 0% interest for the first 12 months. Obviously, I'm already ahead in the game because I don't got to worry about interest for 12 months. When I go get that $50,000 bank loan, you're going to have to pay that back plus interest because you cannot get a loan without interest. Even if your credit is A1, they might still give you 2.2%. It's still interest. But once you pay that back, that's it. So what option would you take? as an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the stuff I'm always have access to.
Right. What's been the development for you as far as figuring it all out? How long did it take you to actually learn the system and actually execute?
I'm not going to lie. It didn't take me that long. I'm kind of like a hands-on type of dude. So like once it was really put in front of me, I'm like, okay, let me lock in on this. You know, I've studied the pathways, did my research. You know what I'm saying? First thing I did was use it on myself. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure it worked, because I never wanted to be promoting something that I didn't know worked unless I did it on myself. I hate people that promote shit and they ain't even did it themselves. And a lot of people do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's in the financial space or anything else, a lot of people promote stuff they've never done.
Right.
How can I tell you to come to my company and get 100,000 and I ain't never did it? You feel me? Like, it just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always preach, when you are locking in with these influencers, content creators, all that, just make sure they doing what they're saying that they're doing. Like,
I can see that, but then I can also see the opposite of it, where if I play devil's advocate, for instance, if I'm a super funny fucking entertainer guy,
for sure,
and you're not, let's just say you're not funny at all, and you're not on that type of time where you're entertaining and stuff, but you see like, okay, I know how to make you famous, or I know how to make you bigger than what you are now.
right?
But you can't do it for yourself because you're not of that field. Can you see that side of it, or is that not relevant?
I can see that in that field, but I think it's just different with finance stuff.
With money?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when you're talking about humor, I think that's a talent that you give. That's God-given, I feel like. Whether it's dry humor or you're just a naturally funny person. I feel like the funniest people are people that aren't even trying to be funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's God-given. When we talking about finances, it's pretty much black and white, to me, at least. You got a process, you got a system, you got the credentials that you must have in order to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? So in that field, I do see where you're coming from, but with the finance field, I feel like you need to be able to show that.
Right.
Because we're not talking about nothing little. Shit, don't nobody want to, $500 is a lot to somebody out here right now. The economy fucked up.
Yeah.
But again, we talking about large amounts of money. Hey, come get funded.
Right.
Where your funding at? I don't know, but I got 10,000 followers, so just trust me. You feel me?
So are you offering also the strategy for what you've built your entrepreneurship off of as well, or are you only offering the service of funding right now?
So right now, I do both, because I like to I like to preach financial literacy with it, because one thing about it, this is not your money. You gonna have to pay it back. So the worst thing you can do is over leverage yourself with credit and go spend it on bullshit, and now you in a worse position than you ever been in. See, a lot of people will say, hey, come get funded, all this, all that, but they don't offer no leeway. So what I preach on my page is I took the funding and I invested in the cash assets that would bring me a return on investment.
That's smart.
You get what I'm saying? So I own a car rental business right now. When I bought my first 2 cars, I used the funding to buy the cars, cash. You know what I'm saying? So when I rent them out, because it's a private car rental business. When they pay every week, I take that money and pay myself back, but it's every week. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're investing in things that give you a return on your investment.
Every time.
The money that you borrowed, you're going to put it into something that's going to make you money.
Every time.
So that's pretty smart, right?
Every time.
What are most people doing when they take out loans?
So, I will speak about this one client that I just had. She actually just opened up a daycare.
Oh, smart.
You get what I'm saying? So it really just depends, because I do consultation calls, and the first question I'll ask somebody is, what's your business plan? What are you planning on doing with this money? You get what I'm saying? Because it's sort of like a vetting process too, because 9 times out of 10, there are certain requirements you have to get funding. But if you don't already have a business plan, you probably aren't in the position that you need to be to get access to this money. Right. You know what I'm saying? If somebody just be like, man, I'm just trying to get the bag, bro, you probably not even in the right mind space to handle what you got going on.
Do you give people that money if they do call you with that anyway?
Nope. And the reason why I say that is because they usually don't qualify. I won't turn you down if you have the credentials to do it, if you got a over 700 credit score. No late payments, no derogatory marks, more than 2 positive accounts on your credit report. If you got the, credentials, we'll get you together.
Are you getting the money from your own, like you're getting the loan out from a bank or something, and you
Financial institutions.
financial institutions, right? So if somebody doesn't pay back the money, let's say somebody takes $100,000 loan, and then they just fucking disappear on you. They don't care about their credit score. They don't care that they're gonna be hiding
That don't
from.
got nothing to do with us.
So that's from who you guys get the money from has to deal with it.
You have to deal with them directly.
Wow.
So what we deal in is PG, which is personal guarantoring people. And what it is most business owners or people, we're going to say, you don't have what you need to go into the bank right now and get $100,000 business from anybody, because you're going to need 3 years of tax returns. You're going to be needing to make a certain amount of money per month in order for them to even take you seriously, to just walk in there and get some money without personally guaranteeing it. So when you personally guarantee it, that's when you got to have, like I just said a couple of minutes ago, the 700 plus score, the no late payments, the no derogatory marks, because you're showing the bank that you're trustworthy. Right. And they like, okay, we'll give you this money, but if you don't do right by it, we know where you at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. As far as the most successful people, do you get to see the stories unfold as far as if you would loan out somebody's money and then seeing what they do with it?
I do. So I always ask for they don't have to give it to me, but I always ask for testimonies, because for one, I like just seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you went crazy. Right. Like I just said, I had a client that opened up a daycare. You know what I'm saying? When I had got that text message from him, I'm like, damn, like you really, it's like a moment, because I feel like I'm a part of changing somebody's life. Yes. Even though they already had the vision and stuff like that, I was a part of it. You know what I mean?
What other testimonies have you seen that really shined you?
Man, I got, excuse me, I got somebody out in California that does a rental car business too. He took the funding and he went and got 10 cars. And he's going crazy right now. Damn. He's going crazy right now, for sure. Damn. He took the play that I do now and he went times 10. You know what I'm saying?
As far as the loans are concerned, let's just take Detroit. Let's just use Detroit as the city of reference for right now. What clients or what people do you think would benefit the most from getting this funding?
I think anybody that has the credentials and a business plan can benefit from it. You don't have to be somebody that's just starting out. Like I said, a couple of my clients that have been coming to me recently are people that's already in the game. They just need that extra push to get to where they at. Like I just had a phone call before I got here. A client, she about to open up a food truck, but it's actually not a food truck, but it's a food truck concept. I don't want to put it out there because she hasn't came out where they at. But she needs like 60 bands for it. You know what I'm saying? To get her product, all her stuff together, so we gonna get her together. You know what I'm saying? And she's still gonna have money left over to invest in the small things that you might just have that you're not gonna account for. Because I think in business too, like even when you do have your business plans, shit comes up that you just don't account for. Even if you do have a great business plan, it just happens. Shit happens. Right. It's a wonderful feeling to have that money. Like, okay, well, I ain't know that was gonna happen, but fuck it, we could take care of it. Right. As opposed to, shit, I ain't got it. Or I got to work some OT at the job, or you know what I'm saying? It's just a comfort to be able to do what you need to do with no questions asked.
When you're looking at the state of Detroit's, I guess you could just say like financial well-being, where do you see it's at right now, and what do you think people could do to help transform their own financial status?
I think in the city of Detroit, it's a lot of ambitious people. It's a lot of people that are trying to work for themselves, be their own bosses. They trying to take that next step. The only thing that I will say that I personally feel like is holding it back is collaboration. When I go to like cities like Atlanta, Houston, even Miami, it's so many different entrepreneurs that's linking up. You know what I'm saying? Showing their methods to each other. Telling you how to get this, telling you how to get that. Hey, I know how to, we got this $20,000 play, bro. I'm going to show you how to do it. Hey, we got this going on. They bouncing ideas off of each other, not wanting nothing in return but the union. You feel what I'm saying? Because he knows if I help you out, I know you're going to help me out, because that's just how he is. I feel like in Detroit, it's such a competitive nature. Don't nobody want to help nobody really get ahead because they don't want them to get ahead of him, that I think is hindering people. Because we got all the people that have the name, the following. We got everything in Detroit. We are our own worst enemy, for real, for real. We got everything that these other cities have, plus some. It's just the collaboration I think that's missing. Think about downtown. All this money that's going on downtown, all the remodeling, all these new businesses, it's a lot of money in the city that can be tapped into and access to. You got new businesses opening every day.
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding, but I just think collaboration is not where it needs to be. I hope it gets there. You know what I'm saying? But it just ain't there like it is in other states.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, it's sometimes when I look at it, I feel like people are just afraid that, like you said, if somebody gets bigger than them and then they lose more money because somebody got bigger than me or whatever the case might be. But I don't know how big of a reality that is. Like, have people experienced the fact that if somebody gets bigger than them, that you end up losing more money because somebody got bigger than me? Like, maybe people have experienced it for so long that now they're like, no, we need everything. We need all the scraps. Like, we can't give out anything. Or it could just be an illusion in their mind thinking that they'll lose everything or that they'll lose money if somebody else gets bigger than them. Do you think it's an illusion or do you think it's a reality? Do you think there's a scarcity in the wealth that is in Detroit for people to be like afraid to lose any of it?
No, I don't. I think it's a mindset thing. I think people are just in their own way. I think that people got programmed like, you don't do that. You got to look out for you. And it just has carried on from generation to generation, and it's really hindering people. I'll tell you one thing that my mentor told me. Every time, let's just say you gave me a play, and I took it and I gave it to my audience. He is 100% against me telling you, like, hey, I got this from my mentor. He wants you to get all the credit because he feels like he's going to make more money if the people that he is teaching makes money because they're living testimonials. If I help you and you take your next steps to the next level, what you going to do? In my particular business, you're going to refer me to a friend, refer me to a friend, hey, this guy is this guy's this. That don't stop my money. It don't stop my shine. It don't stop anybody's cash flow to help somebody, man.
Yeah.
It just got to be in you. But that goes back to the question you asked me a couple minutes ago about how I felt about me going to other states. That's why I'm glad I did go to other states, because I was able to see that people all over the world don't act just like how we act in Detroit. I love Detroit to death. We're the greatest city in the world. Nobody's like us. But that could be good things and bad things too, though. And I feel like with that particular topic, it's bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
what's the as far as watching other people's blueprints and maneuvering, successful people and entrepreneurs in Detroit that you've witnessed and appreciate their blueprint of how they operated?
I just like the fact that don't nobody in the city give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody in the city give up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Didi Dream Rich. Yep. Well, it ain't even Dream Rich no more. I don't want to say it, Didi, because I don't want to fuck up the name. But
the art.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've been knowing Didi for a long time. I remember when her Dream Rich stuff got shut down for whatever it got shut down for.
She got flooded.
Think about somebody that's been doing clothes for that long, and then you just suddenly taking a loss like that. Yeah. That could break some people. You feel me? Like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, her entire business got flooded, unfortunately.
And then think about it too. She not the type of person that only got one thing going on. She managing artists. She one of the, you know what I'm saying? She one of the pioneers in the city. So she could have easily been like, man, fuck that clothes shit. It did what it needed to do. I'm right here now. I'm managing artists. I'm big time, but resilience.
What do you think people are investing in Detroit that seems like a good opportunity, but you see often failing?
That's a good question. That's a good question. That they invest into, but it seems like they're failing.
Something that's not a good investment that just seems like it's a good investment from time to time. Besides scamming.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. That's a great question. Because, you know what? I think Airbnbs. I think it's oversaturated. And I think that a lot of people are not doing what is necessary to stand out from all the other listings. And that's why you see a lot of people stop doing it, especially when they came with some of the regulations to make it harder. Obviously, you know, certain apartment buildings that do allow it or don't allow it for short-term rentals and stuff like that. I think that was, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people was like, okay, we're going to get these cribs, we're going to get these apartments, we're going to Airbnb them, throw the Ring camera on them, whatever. But as the inflation hit and everything started costing more, it didn't make sense to do it because people aren't standing out with their listings. I think a lot of people invested into that quick. I actually got a friend of mine, he's about to sell a house. he was doing short-term rentals, but he was just like, it just don't make sense. People breaking into cribs more. They trash your crib. Now you got to replace everything in there. Ain't no insurance. You taking a loss with all of that. There's nothing that covers that type of stuff unless it's just your regular home policy, from what I'm told, because I don't do it. But I think that for sure.
What do you think the best thing to invest in right now, if you are from the city, would be?
If you're from the city, anything that's just gonna give you an ROI, man. Anything. And I ain't gonna lie, it ain't even about startups. Like, prime example, I do rental cars. But you ain't gotta do rental cars. I don't even think people understand it's businesses that you can invest in that are already running, like laundromats. I'm seeing different car washes open all around the city now. That's really the way, for real. I need to get me one of those.
Car washes?
Car washes, the automatic car washes that run all year. You know, you come in, you can vacuum your car out, or do the little sprint, the little sprinkle, all that shit. I'm seeing them pop all over on the east side, right here on Gratiot. It's about 6 new ones. They all down the street within 2-3 miles. All different business names, but they all got cars in there.
Yeah,
I think those are good businesses to invest in. Anything that's just gonna give you an ROI. Real estate will always be king, I feel like. Right. I just feel like it takes a lot of money up front to do it.
You think real estate's still a strong prospect in Detroit right now?
I do. Real estate will always be the staple to real wealth. It don't matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing for certain you got to know. People are going to always need somewhere to live. Always. Yeah. Which means it's always going to be around. Now, like I said, you're going to need a lot of money up front, because if you're doing the fix and flips, you know what I'm saying? You buying those cribs off of auctions, $5,000, $10,000, you're going to need to put another 60, 70 in there, depending on what type of ROI you're trying to get on it. But it's always going to be lucrative.
Do you feel like rap is a good investment?
I do.
Really?
I can't go against rap. I'm from the city, man. I can't go against rap.
But would you invest in a rapper?
I would.
Really?
I would.
Are you sure about that, man?
I would.
All right.
I would. If I really felt like they had a chance for real, I would. For sure. I would. It only take one song to blow. It only take one song to blow.
Yeah.
Now, you might have to make 1 million songs before then. But that gives you something to talk about. That's the journey. But it take one fucking song to go crazy.
As far as your business right now is concerned, and the service that you offer, for a standard person watching right now that's on the edge of teeter-tottering back and forth between making the decision of getting funding from you or getting a loan from a bank, what other areas can you really talk about to help people understand the significance of what you're doing?
I mean, I just like it to be, I like to express it that it's a do-for-you service. You know what I'm saying? We take care of all of that. You know, we get on a call with you. We let you know what it is that you need. If you do have it, okay, we handle the application process. We have the underwriter on standby. We have the Chase rep. We have the Bank of America rep. We have the Huntington Bank rep on standby. It's all about the relations. This is why it's better to come to us as opposed to you walking in the bank by yourself, because they identify us already, because we've established that relationship, as opposed to you or the next person. You don't know anybody. I don't think people understand when you go to get funding or get a type of loan or anything like that, you fill out an application and it hits an underwriter's desk. We have people that will push it past the underwriter's desk. You get what I'm saying? Now, ultimately, an underwriter does have to make the decision, but in anything in the world, you always going to want to go with somebody that has the plug, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go there then? You get what I'm saying? But that's why I preach specifically on what you should have. Yeah. Because we do have funding options where we don't have to go through that. It's stuff that people literally can do themselves, and I advise them on that and everything. But when we talking about them big bucks, it's always good to have a plug.
For sure.
PVO Funding is the plug.
Is there anything you want to talk about before we close out?
Hey, man, shout out to you with this podcast, giving me an opportunity to bring awareness not only to myself but to my company. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking out with me since I started the journey and took it more seriously. 2024, we got 5 months left. trying to take it to the moon. In 2025, we're going to take over the world. Salute.
Sure. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for talking about this with us on this podcast. Like I said, it's good to take a break from entertainment and get people remembering finances are super, super important, and that there's other options besides getting loans from banks or your friend or something like that, where you never know what can happen. It's good to be able to have a personality to talk to, where you feel like you can trust the person that you're talking to.
Facts.
And that they actually care about what's going on with you. Even the way you were talking about the girl who took out the loan to have her daycare, it's like you could see that you actually care about that.
For sure.
So it's good to have that personality behind the resource. We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Low Visual Shootings Productions. We're out. Peace.